Now we're going to send it down to Brendan Parker and Cory Sarich for tonight's Flames TV postgame show, presented by Original 16.
Up your game and celebrate things done well with the great taste of Original 16, official beer of the Calgary Flames. All right, welcome inside our Flames TV Live postgame show, brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory Sarich as the Flames return home, kick off a 3-game homestand tonight. It's the number 1 team in the National Hockey League, the Washington Capitals, who lead basically from start to finish here tonight and close out a 3-1 win. They are known as the stingiest team in the National Hockey League and probably showed a little bit of that here tonight, despite the fact that the Flames had some looks throughout the course of it. How did you see this one playing out here tonight?
It started off a little scrambly tonight for both teams, and again, probably not the way the Calgary Flames wanted, with a giveaway in their own zone, which leads to that first Washington goal. But I thought the Flames did a nice job of settling in. They slowly took over the first period. They had a really good second half of the first period. The second was a bit of a toss-up for me. And then it comes down to special teams tonight for both of these groups. And it's a pretty dangerous power play to put the Washington Capitals up a man. There was good goaltending. You had a little bit of everything. I thought that Logan Thompson definitely was the better goaltender here tonight. I mean, Dustin Wolf did have to make a lot of key saves, but Logan Thompson just looked so secure in net. He looked very simple. His movement was simple, and all the shots up high, he did a great job of tracking. Yeah, well, and he was tested, in the first period alone, a couple of breakaway attempts, and then just as the course of that second period and third went on, there was some pretty good looks and equal to each one of those tasks. Maybe as we are here from inside the locker room here in a minute, let's take a look at the goals and how it all starts. And you mentioned the first one, and that's the one that puts the Flames chasing this game throughout the course of it, and it comes less than 2 minutes in, and the turnover that ends up on the stick of Pierre-Luc Dubois, who buries his 11th of the season. Yeah, and this is not a mistake that you see very often from Mackenzie Weegar. He's got to just shovel this out to the boards. If he's not sure, can't go back through the slot. But again, it ends up right on Dubois' tape, and it's a heck of a shot, and Dustin Wolf has no chance on this first opening goal. So Dubois scores there. That was 1-0 after one, and then we go to the second period, and the special teams start to take shape and take hold of this game, and this is the first one that comes on the man advantage for the Flames. Tyson Barrie back in the lineup for the first time since November the 12th. Yeah, he had a couple games down with the Wranglers this weekend. He posted a few points on the power play for them, got his feet underneath him, and it's a beautiful shot here through the opponent's legs. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. Coleman's positioned perfectly and puts it in, and it's nice to see number 8 back in the lineup and contributing right away. So Blake Coleman on the redirect, he was all over top of the blue paint throughout the course of this night, but that's the one that was perfectly placed into the top shelf. But it didn't last long because the Flames go down 2 men at the other end and would give up the power play goal at the other end. Just missed it there. That's the late stages 3-1 goal. Alexi Protas scores. This was a little bit of an unfortunate bounce that springs him. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty decent power play too for the Calgary Flames. Yeah. They got both units out there. They had a few looks, and again, this happens every now and then. And Protas, he's a big man. You're not going to catch that 6'6" stride, and he capitalizes at the end of the game. Well, and maybe if we can, should we just show the Dylan Strome goal? Because, you were talking about the Caps power play, and obviously on a 5-on-3, and they had it for a full minute 52, and they go up and they're working the puck around. And you can just see just the weapons that they have on it and how difficult that is to defend when you're in a 5-on-3 situation. And you can see they're kind of shading Alex Ovechkin there, but it leaves a lot of open ice. Yeah, Rasmus Andersson is doing his best. We don't see him in this shot right here, but you've got Alex Ovechkin at the bottom of the picture here, and he's got to keep an eye on him. And then they swing it out. John Carlson, who's a great passer, he finds this seam, and this is where, it's even over top of Weegar's stick. Yeah. I thought that Andersson should have his stick in that lane as well, but he's keeping an eye on that one-timer up high. What do you do? Yeah, do you give Ovechkin the shot? No, you don't do that. Do you cheat low because that opens him up? It's an extremely difficult power play to defend, and that's a heck of a pass. Seeing it at that angle, I didn't know that he elevated it to get it over Mackenzie Weegar's stick, but that's a highly skilled power play.
Yeah, right on the tape of Strome, who scores what ends up being the game winner in this hockey game, his 13th of the season, and perfectly placed on the pass from John Carlson.
And it was, just to interrupt for a second, you know, the Flames had just worked themselves back into that game. It was 1-1. I'm sure that Braden Pahal, his penalty wasn't the best. He got his stick in there. He goes in the box first, and then Blake Coleman had the crazy puck up in the air, kind of grabbed it and threw it. He should have just batted it out of the air. Yeah. So they kind of did themselves in a little bit to put themselves on that 5-on-3. And again, just a few key mistakes tonight, and Washington capitalizes, and that ends up being the difference.
Yeah. Sure does. Let's hear from one of the players here. Post-game, Rasmus Andersson. He was part of this hockey game, both obviously defensively, and then a little bit of the conversations going on between him and Tom Wilson. Late stages of the game. Let's hear from Rasmus Andersson now.
What's the difference out there tonight?
I thought we were the better team, especially 5-on-5, and you know, they score a 5-on-3 goal, and we don't manage to score more than one PP goal, and I didn't feel like we really made it too difficult on Thompson and net, and yeah, I thought that was different. I thought we were the better team 5-on-5, and you know, we scored one power play goal, but we didn't manage to get those you know, the chaos in front of the net.
Do you see it then as a great team coming in and all that, but was this a missed opportunity for you guys?
Yeah, I think we should definitely at least get on 1 point, and as I said, I thought we were better 5-on-5, and but you know, there's a reason why they're the top of the standings, and they find ways to win, and you know, it's a great learning experience for us, and you know, to just create a little bit more.
How would you characterize your exchange with Tom Wilson?
I mean, it's emotions, right? And you know, I know he gets triggered by certain stuff, and you know, but it's emotions, and you know, when you look back at it, it's all you know, it's all good on my part at least, and you know, we're down 2-1 with 4 minutes left, and you know, it's a couple scrums, and you know, there's a lot on the line for us, and as I said, it's just it's a lot of emotions. You know, I think that's one part of the game that I enjoy, is to chirp a little bit and get under his skin, and it's just the way it went today. Today was Wilson, and you know, next game is someone else probably.
Were you aware that it was Mangiapane who took you out? Obviously, he touched my beard a little bit after, but I didn't really want to. You know, I wanted to power play and not do anything back, and then I saw it was him, and I kind of giggled a little bit, and you know, it was different playing against him today, but. You know, as I said, the chirping and the emotions, it's all part of it, and you know, I think it's fun, and I think it's fun to get chirped sometimes too. It makes you feel alive a little bit.
When's the last time you lined up at forward on a power play unit?
I mean, I've done it here and there this year, especially, you know, when Tyson in the lineup, he's so good on the power play, so I don't mind moving over, and you know, he does a good job with teaming me up too. So you know, wherever the coaches need me, I'm there.
It looked like, you mentioned Tyson, it looked like that conditioning stint might have paid off for him.
Yeah, I thought he played really well, and as I said, you can tell how skilled he is from the red line and forward, and you know, he makes those plays, and you know, takes a great shot. Colsey tips it, and he hits a crossbar later, and you know, tees me up in a 6-on-5. If Hubie bats that in, he probably has a 2-3 point night, and. But as I said, you know, we just didn't get the bounces, and we didn't make it tough enough for Thompson in that.
Do you and Wilson have a history at all?
You know, it's not the first time we chirp each other, and you know, it was pretty quiet until the end, and you know, got him going, he got me going, and you know, it worked out for them, and but you know, as I said, it's all fun, and it's part of it, in my opinion, at least. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it certainly is part of it, and maybe no one better, at least on the Flames roster, than Rasmus Andersson in terms of taking care of that side of the game. And here's where it all started. Adam Klapke gets the penalty that Tom Wilson draws with the cross-check, and that leads us to the exchange between Rasmus Andersson and Tom Wilson right here. What do you think?
It's pretty comical. Thought it was the old chicken wing that was going on there, but Anderson, even Wilson's got a smile on his face. How do you not laugh at something like that?
Yeah.
Anderson's, trying to maybe get a reaction, trying to maybe get him to draw a penalty.
Yeah.
And while Wilson, when he did come out of the box after this exchange, he did take another penalty.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything to do with this exchange, but this was entertaining for the fans anyways.
And us. Great acting too, by the way, from Rasmus Andersson, and there was probably a little bit of a reaction on the Klapke cross-check as well. I think in the corner that maybe helped seal that penalty draw.
Yeah, he might have sold it just a little bit.
Just a bit.
He obviously got him in a very soft spot between the pads.
A little tender
so,
area.
That was.
It's great.
Adam Klapke was actually pretty lucky that they didn't score on that ensuing power play, because he did a great job. You mow Tom Wilson down. Sure. Just get on with it, get after it, especially not when the ref's standing there. Yeah,
no question about it. Caught him red-handed there, and that ended up putting the Caps on the power play. There was quite a few power plays at the end of it. Let's go back inside the room. Who's standing by now? We got Tyson Barrie. Okay, so he had the assist. We heard Rasmus Andersson talk about Barrie getting back in the lineup first time since November the 12th, at least as far as the Flames are concerned, and then draws on the score sheet here as well tonight.
How did you feel out there, Tyson?
I felt good, yeah. Like I said, it was nice to go and play some games and kind of get a feel, so it made tonight a lot easier. And I felt good. Obviously would have liked a different result, but it was a good battle from the boys. It
seemed pretty seamless, hey, back on the power play. You were jumping up in the rush a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what got me in the league, and it's kind of been my bread and butter the last, call it 14 years. So probably a little too old to start reinventing the wheel. So just going to try to do what I do best, and do it to the best of my ability. So I felt good. It was nice to get back on the power play and work it around, and would have been nice to get one to tie it up there, but unfortunately we fell a little short.
Tyson, you talked about wanting to be ready when an opportunity came. You've been at this a long time, but do you put any pressure on yourself to show, like, okay, I haven't had this chance in a while, and I'll show you guys I'm ready?
Yeah, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself at the beginning of the year to come in and make the team, and obviously I hadn't played in almost 3 months, so it was. Yeah, I was just trying to come in and enjoy it and play loose and not put too much pressure on myself and squeeze the stick too hard. That's when you start making mistakes, and I find myself back in the rafters real quick. So I was just trying to keep it loose and stick to the things I know well. So no, I wasn't putting too much pressure on it.
You were playing on the left tonight. A couple of nights ago with the Wranglers, you were on the right side. What's the big adjustment for you moving side to side? Yeah, I think the right side is the side I'm most comfortable with, but moving to the left, there's just little adjustments, things that come with getting used to it, and making plays to the neutral zone is one of them. Picking up pucks in the O-zone, you're on your backhand a lot of the time, picking it off the walls and closing your gaps, shutting guys down, that sort of thing. But Weegsy does it really well. I've picked up a few things watching him, so just trying to get the hang of it.
Team-wise, how do you digest a night where you, I think, outchance probably one of the better teams in the league and don't get the results?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit in here after the game. It was a good hockey game. They got the 5-on-3 goal, and we had a couple looks. I think they're one of the top teams in the league, and we were right there with them all night. So nothing to hang our heads about. Just reset, and we know how we play, and what makes us successful. Just keep to it.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, here's a look at the night from Tyson Barrie, and we heard him discussing about the conditioning stint in the American Hockey League. Helped a little bit, got a couple games under his belt, a couple points, worked the power play, and played 17 minutes plus here tonight.
Yeah, I like you hear him in the interview there, don't reinvent the wheel. And the one thing that Tyson has been great at his whole career is managing the top of a power play unit. So this is second nature for him. This stuff, you just put him out there and it's instinctual. I loved with that first shot that we saw and where he got the assist on the Coleman goal, he knows that when the puck goes up and down and in and out of the sides, like up to the top, out to his side, up to the top, sooner or later that shot's got to come. You have to establish it, and he didn't force it. He picked the right time. He got it through, And it'll just be the little things. It'll be the battles down low that really exhaust you when you haven't played for a while. The overall conditioning. Those are the hard things that you just can't replicate the gameplay in practice. But again, the puck handling and the knowledge that he possesses offensively, that's second nature for him.
Yeah, for sure. So good night from Tyson Barrie and his return, and obviously helps the lone goal for the Calgary Flames on this night as they lose it 3-1. Let's go back inside the room. We'll hear now from the lone goal scorer, Blake Coleman. Around the front of the net, that one deflection makes up for the Flames offense. Let's hear from Blake Coleman now.
What you see is the difference out there?
I thought it was a pretty good game. I thought, honestly, I felt like we deserved better, but just some critical situations that were the difference. I think 5-on-5, I don't feel like it was really even that close who the better team was. We just didn't find ways to put pucks in the net, and a few breakdowns and mental mistakes.
Does it become sort of a missed opportunity then if you feel like 5-on-5 you were the better team tonight?
There's a lot of games in this league, and sometimes you're going to feel like you're the better team and you're not going to win, and sometimes you're not going to be the better team and you'll find ways to get wins, and that's certainly been the case this year. And, I think it's more about the process and feeling good about the way our team's playing, and I think if we put that product on the ice, we'll win more times than not.
Is your penalty one of the mental mistakes you were talking about?
Yeah, just fluke thing. I catch it with my top hand, which is kind of an uncomfortable spot to be in, and just a little mental mistake. Just kind of wasn't sure what to do with the puck really, but it puts us on a 5-on-3, and they capitalize, and can't give teams with good power plays that opportunity. And like I said, I think a few small moments in the game, but the big picture, I thought we played actually a pretty solid game tonight.
Are you just trying to swat it there and kind of close on it a little bit? Is that what happens?
Yeah, you just reach up, grab it with your offhand. It's just, like I said, I normally catch a puck in my left hand. It was just, for whatever reason, it was my top hand, and didn't really want to drop it in the crease. So just try to clear it out of the zone.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers to another season of great times and great taste. Celebrate things done well. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be legal drinking age.
All right, Calgary Flames postgame live. It is on the air. It is brought to you by Original 16. The Flames fall 3-1 to the Washington Capitals. The number one team in the National Hockey League find ways to win tight scoring, tight checking games, and they find another one here tonight. Their 34th win of the season on top of the National Hockey League standings. We saw Alex Ovechkin back in Calgary, obviously in person. Andrew Mangiapane makes his return, but it was a Calgary native that kind of stole the show in the crease for the Washington Capitals here tonight. You heard Blake Coleman just say, felt like they played a pretty good game, especially 5-on-5, at least deserving enough to maybe scrap out a point here. What did you make of the newly inked 6-year contract extension man for the Caps?
Well, again, I said it earlier, he just looked comfortable. He made everything look easy tonight, and like Rasmus Andersson said, I don't think they made it hard enough on him. I don't think they could use a little more traffic in his face, but his positioning tonight was perfect. He stopped 2 breakaways in the first period. He saw Lomberg. I don't know if we'll get to see Kadri, but he looked rock solid. And again, a couple of really nice saves up in those top corners, which, a lot of goalies will end up down on their knees, giving up that top part of the net. He seemed to know kind of almost where the shot was going tonight. His anticipation was great. He did juggle a couple, and guys tried to swat it out of his hands.
Caught it back.
Yeah, he did a really nice job keeping his eye on those and securing them. So, I've really liked this kid ever since he was with the Vegas Golden Knights. You watch him there progressing, him sharing all that time in the crease with Aiden Hill, and now he's getting a chance on his own on a really stingy defensive team, and he's really risen to the occasion and deserves that contract he just signed.
Now 6 straight wins for Logan Thompson, giving up 2 goals or less in 7 of his last 8 starts. So you kind of see how the trend, at least, how the Caps find ways to win hockey games. They don't give up much, and that was certainly the case here tonight, backstop by Calgary native Logan Thompson. Let's hear from the head coach of the Calgary Flames, Ryan Huska, now his thoughts following tonight's 3-1 loss.
Ryan Blake said that he thought your team was the better team at 5-on-5 tonight. A couple mistakes and power plays are kind of the difference. Is that an assessment you agree with?
Yeah, I thought they were a good team too. But I did like the way we played. And I don't know, when you look at the power plays, they scored one, we scored one. So that's kind of a saw-off, right? There's lots of this game that I really did like. A little execution at times was off. We just have to find a way to put some in the back of the net. You know, it's been a bit of a challenge for us for sure. I know we have guys that are capable of doing that, and their goaltender played well too. Like, you have to give him some credit. But in these tighter games, one, you have to win, or even the special teams, which we did, and then you have to find a way to play like we did 5-on-5, but you got to find a way to score. Yeah.
Safe to say we're going to see Tyson Barrie again sometime soon, potentially?
Potentially, yeah. I thought Tyce did a good job tonight. You know, I mean, he hit the crossbar too on that one play. It would have been nice if it would have went for him. That would have made for quite the night, I think. But he's got a skill on the offensive blue line, and you know, he moves the puck around with a lot of confidence when he's up there. So I thought he did an excellent job tonight.
You know, I know in this league there's no points for moral victories, but you know, how do you look at, you know, the fact that you went up against the best team in the league and actually were right there to the end?
Not
mean much to you right now.
No, but hey, to me, it's about the way we play all the time. Like, if we are consistent with our effort that we had tonight, the effort that we had 5-on-5 in Winnipeg the last time we were there, most of the efforts we've seen from our guys this season, I mean, they're pretty consistent with how we show up. So we're in the business of, we got to find a way to get points right now, right? So if we want to stay where we are currently at, we have to find a way to turn these closer games into wins against the better teams like this one. So our players know that they can beat teams like this. They do. It's just a matter of making sure we get the job done.
We all saw a clap.
Does that become a source of frustration when the lack of scoring prevents you from getting points that you feel like you maybe deserve?
Hey, anytime you're scoring one goal, and we've had some chances that we could have capitalized on, some players are going to leave here for sure, like feeling a little bit frustrated, and that's totally normal. But our team is that type of team where we have to, we're good in playing those tight games, and you know, I think they understand where we're at as a team. We're not going to score a ton of goals. That's the way we are. But having said that, you have to find a way to bear down and bury when you get your chances.
I'm trying to be repetitive in a way, but like with that said, I mean, a mistake like the one on the first goal must be frustrating on some level.
Mistakes happen all the time, right? Unfortunately, that one ended up in the back of the net.
We saw Klapka going at Wilson there in the third period. Like how do you assess his game, and do you want him to be engaged like that going after sort of the other teams?
Love the hit. I mean, that's the way he has to play. He's got to be physical like that. Did not like the penalty. You know, you take with the way our penalty kill is, it's not the strength of our team right now, and against a good power play, you got to be careful in those situations.
Just going back to Tyson for a second, you had Rasmus up at a forward spot for the power play units. Is that just trying to find a creative way to get him some power play time when you have those two righties with Weeks and Andersson there?
Part of it is Andy's got a heavy shot, so we wanted to utilize that shot a little bit more. You know, there's the one that he had, I think it was in the first period tonight, where Blake Coleman hit his stick in front. Like, we wanted Raz to shoot the puck a little bit more, so it makes it easier for us to have that one-time threat over there.
Your fourth line group in general tonight, what did you think of their game?
I thought Bish was competitive, generated some chances. I thought he worked really hard. I thought they gave us some good shifts tonight.
Rasmus Andersson displaying a little bit of emotion there. Is that when he's at his best, or do you worry that sometimes it's a distraction?
No, it's at his best. I mean, you look at his weekend that we had too when we were on the road, and he was right in the thick of things in Minnesota. He was right in the thick of things in Winnipeg, and he was the same way tonight. I feel like when Ras is right on the line and he plays the game with edge, he's a really good player. And to me, he's played some of his better hockey the last 3 games.
All good?
Okay, thank you, guys.
11 a.m. tomorrow right here.
All right, there's some thoughts from the head coach, Ryan Huska, following the 3-1 loss, and just talking a little bit about Rasmus Andersson and the edge, and obviously scored on that road trip as well. And you're down a D-man right now without Kevin Ball, but makes it a little bit more on the shoulders of some of those vets like Weegar and Rasmus Andersson, a guy that seems to have risen to that challenge here a little bit.
Yeah, and like Huska just said, I have to agree. I don't like the games. There was a stretch there probably a little over a month ago where Rasmus was quiet, right? You were kind of waiting for him every game to see something, to have something there. So I'd rather him be at the forefront rather than the background. Right. That means he's contributing. Not easy for him either. You know, he's played his whole first part of this season with Kevin Ball as well, and now you're trying to adjust to a different partner, still do your job, and then also he got a couple different looks on the power play tonight. So those are the things you have to do during the season, though, with ups and downs, players in and out of the lineup. You got to make those adjustments, and it's what you expect your top players to do. And I thought he handled it pretty well tonight, and again, provided us all with a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah, we'll be looking. I'm sure that'll be making its rounds on social media. It certainly was hilarious. I actually think he got a pretty good laugh from the Scotiabank Saddledome on the original one.
Yeah, and when you put a smile on Tom Wilson's face too, I mean, I think that one might creep into the highlights.
As it should.
We'll be watching that for a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. Rasmus Andersson, part of it here. Flames leave obviously a little bit disappointed, feeling pretty good about some parts of their game. Obviously the execution, the difference, and maybe the power play as well. The Caps end up winning it 3-1 the final here tonight. They continue their reign at the top of the National Hockey League standings. The Flames holding down their spot in the Western Conference playoff picture as well, and they'll look to keep the ball rolling as they continue this homestand starting on Thursday night as they welcome the Anaheim Ducks to the Scotiabank Saddledome. It'll wrap up on Saturday, but it's the first of back-to-back games. They'll be on the road in Seattle on Sunday. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. And a lot of fun. Easy for me to say from the Scotiabank Saddledome. We'll see you back here on Thursday night.